This is just a quick addition to part one, something I failed to add, so we'll go through it here pretty quickly. It has to do with our H print and unable to clear the letters out and reprint something else. So here's a program that will do that. We'll go through it and show it what it does, and this is how you can clear the printed text on a screen and reprint. Okay, we'll go through this real quick. So HBUFF reserves some 550 bytes, call it buffer 1. We'll set up our palette as black background and a yellow foreground. We'll tell what we're doing with that foreground and background. H screen 2, clear the screen. And we're going to get a piece of the screen, which is currently, when you do a clear screen, it's black background. So we'll look at these parameters a little bit later. So we're going to a rectangle box, we're going to get it and put it in the buffer. We'll do our H print to column 2, row 10, our score 99. We'll do go sub, which waits for a key. Once you hit the space bar, hit anything, and we'll say put from buffer 1. This here says use background color, that piece set. So that will put what we saved in the buffer, which is just a black box, and we'll overlay the score 99. We'll wait for a key, then we'll print score 100, wait for a key, and end the job. That is it. Let's get the right button here. And let's run that code. Okay, score 99, column 2, row 10. Hit the space bar. It did that 8, put the buffer on there. We hit the space bar again. Now the score is 100 and we're done. So, what does all that mean? First thing is that we did over there was hit this H buffer, save 550 bytes. Okay, we're for how we get that 550. What we did, we're doing the HGET and HPUT. We're putting them in the same place, so their parameters are all the same. You don't have to. You can get it from one place and put it in another place. Okay, we're going H print. only uses row column, and this uses basically is row column of pixels. So how do we get there? Okay, this says row 15, column 80. Start there, which would be just about right here, and go to column 105, row 90, which would be about here. All right, that's the buffer that would be saved when the screen was black. Okay, so the formula I use, I don't know the correct way to do it, but here's the formula I use. I take the biggest number of the column, which is 105, minus the beginning column, 15, gives us 90. I get the largest row, which is 90, minus the lowest one, 80, gives us 10. 90 times 10 is 900 divided by 2. Remember, each byte has 2 pixels, gives us 450 bytes we need to have the buffer size. Okay, that's not a typo. 450, you put 450 in there, it won't work. You put 500 in there, it won't work, because the HBUFF, the gets and the puts, has to save parameters. Rows, columns, foregrounds, backgrounds. It also has to chain, if you have more than one buffer, it has to chain the buffers together so it can find them. Okay, so it has to have addresses where the other buffers, the previous buffer, the current buffer. So anyway, I always add 100. You can play with it. You might get it down to 525 or something, but I just always add 100 to it if I'm doing something like that. Okay, now how do you get these other numbers? Okay, here's what this is. Not to say this is not row 10, but it is in column 2. I put these 2 dashes in there, so there is 2 blank characters. Each, remember, our letters are 8 pixels high and 8 pixels across. So we got two or our letters. Okay, we got 2 letters here, each one 8. 8 and 8 is 16. So we get into this one. So I just used 15. I could have used 15. Okay, we've got 11 letters. Okay, that's 11 times 8 pixels is 88. So 15 plus 88 is 103. I just used 105 roughly. Likewise on the row. Okay, we're using row 10. Each one pixels 8 high. That's 80. And they're each, then I just used 90 to 10 for and I just always round the stuff up. So that's how I got those numbers there. Okay. If you do that get when the screen is black, it will save the box like that. When you do the put, that's what it's going to do. It's going to just black it out, and then when you print again the next score, it will print it right over the top of that. One last thing, got this P set. Okay, I know what it does, but I always said it said foreground or background. P set to me is background, preset is foreground. The other options you got in there is and, or not. Okay, and they do what they say. Whatever on the screen, and this here or this here. What you do it is type this code in, run it, and play with it. Change the preset to preset, run it, and see what it does. Change it to and, see what or not, and see what it does. Okay, that's one way to play with this get and put. If you haven't played with it, this is a quick little example you can try. Okay, again, that was just to kind of add to a clarification of what we did in one. This is just a little addendum. We'll get to part 2 in the near future. That is it for this one.